Welcome back. This time we are going to start getting into writing our web scraping code in Python. And the idea of web scraping is that the internet contains a lot of information which you can get at by writing automatic algorithms that identify pieces of information that are valuable to you within the website. And this idea relies on being able to find the information, and we can find the information by basically analyzing the structure of a website. So for this demonstration, we're going to use as an example the TripAdvisor site. So if we go to TripAdvisor, and maybe we want to find information about a specific city. So you can see here, when you pull up New York City, there's a certain number of attractions. This data comes up and it's structured in this format where each entry is within one of these containers. And then at some point in the page, you have this list of next pages and you have a button to go on to the next page. So if you have this kind of functionality behind a website, you can actually set up an automated process to do the same thing I just did. To basically open a website, collect information within specific areas of the site, and then go on to the next page continuously until all the pages are done. So in this way, we can gather data without any special access to the data, just by using the structure of the site to find specific bits of information we're interested in and to browse to the next page. So the reason we can do this is because websites are actually very well structured, so it makes finding specific bits of information easy. And the way we can get access into the structure of a website is if you're using Chrome. Chrome actually has some good tools built in for analyzing websites. So if you hit the options button here, you go to tools, go to developer tools, it'll pull up this window on the bottom which has a series of tools you can use to see how the site works. And the one we're going to use is elements, and this contains the basic structure of the website. So if we go into the website here, you can see that each website, the HTML code that structures the website, is based on this kind of hierarchy of information within these kind of tags. So the basic HTML starts with an HTML tag within these triangle brackets, and it has two main sections, a head, and the head starts with a head tag and it ends with a /head. And the body is also the same. It starts with a body tag between the angle braces and the slash body. So this is a basic structure of HTML. You basically wrap portions of code or structure within these tags, and you always end the tag with a /head, and these tags can contain other structures. So here the head has a link structure, a script structure, and so on and so forth. So what Google tools can do is basically take the whole code of the website, which if we view it by itself is very, very complex. There's a lot of text. What they do is basically restructure it, put all the structure into these groups so you can easily access all the information. And then as you mouse over the different entries, it will actually highlight which part of the page that relates to. So most of the information in the page will be contained in the body tag. If you open that up, you can scroll through these different entries. The scripts are JavaScript. They don't actually relate to the content of the site. They're just executed for specific functions. Most of the content of the site will be found in Div Tags. This is another structure that HTML uses to organize elements on the page. So here, as we mouse over this div page tag, you can see that the whole content of the page is contained within this tag. And these are specific fields or identifiers which allow you to access this particular div. So div is the structure, and you can access what's in this structure by these names. So the ID basically refers to the ID of the specific div tag. So if we open that up, there's more structure. Here you see another div with the ID head, main wrap, and foot. So these relate to those elements of the page where there's the header, contained within this div, the main body of the page contained within this div, and the footer of the page contained within this div. Okay, so you can kind of drill down further and further until you find the structure that contains the element you want. So we can keep going in. There's the main, and this is a typical way that these sites are structured, of these kind of containers within containers. So here's the body content. If you go in the attractions, this main column, the attractions, and then here we have the beginnings of the listings. You see the first listing here, and then you have one after the other. And each of these entries refers to a listing. So this is the way that we can actually target where the information is contained. We can say that each attraction that we want is contained within a div tag of class listing with a certain ID, and within that tag you have all this information. You can see there's a ranking, and then here finally is the piece of text. So we can actually use the inherent structure of HTML to find the bits of information we wanted. So for instance, if we wanted this number, we want to know the ranking of this attraction in New York, we would ask, our script would kind of follow the structure of divs, and because they all have specific names, we can locate this bit of information within the HTML. And another easier way to do this, if you don't want to kind of drill down into this by yourself, you can actually highlight any information you want within the website, and right click, and in Google Chrome click on inspect element, and it'll actually bring you to exactly where the element is within that HTML. So here you can see the Book of Mormon is the name, and it's A, which denotes a link, so it's a link here, and there's text within it, which is the Book of Mormon. So now we can have our script kind of go into this HTML, find this div in a specific location, and then extract this text so we can automatically process all the names and information about each of these attractions.